morning guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal. It is Friday morning. Hello, I hope everybody is going to have a lovely Friday. The weather here in Rochester, Kent is raining and it's damp and it's miserable, but oh, there's the phone. That's my mum calling. Sorry, that's my mum ringing the phone. So guys, I'm trying to do my YouTube video and as soon as I speak, the phone rings. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1973, the Sydney Opera House first opened its doors. The build took 14 years and cost $102 million, 95k over budget. Opera tends to be a bit on the expensive side.
Alexa, what's the time, please? Alexa, the time?
It's 8:36 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Friday the 20th of October.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Right now in Rochester, it's 14 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has rainy weather, with a high of 16 degrees and a low of 11 degrees. Also, there's a yellow warning for rain in effect until Friday 20th of October, 9 a.m.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
I have lots of intellectual property jokes, but I can't tell you any, because they're all under copyright.
Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include United States Senator from California Kamala Harris, American rapper, singer, actor and record producer Snoop Dogg, American actor and writer John Krasinski, American actor Viggo Mortensen, and American rapper, singer and songwriter NBA Young Boy.
Alexa, how old is Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg is 52 years old.
We're all getting older. I grew up with Snoop Dogg when I was younger as well. Snoop Dogg is a great singer, rapper, performer, and he's also starred in a few films. And he's roughly the same age as me, 3 years difference. So we're all getting older. Right guys, so last night the weather was appalling and you've got no choice to go out all covered up and with umbrella because it's raining. So I went out all covered up with my raincoat on and my Wellington boots, etc. and just walked Max around the block because you still have to take your dog out whether you like it or not. And then I came back and then I was into Coronation Street again, so I put on YouTube and I watched Coronation Street back to back, loads of 3 hours of it. And you get, you know, it's a bit of nostalgia because you go back to when you was a kid, because I was about 10 or 12, and you see what subjects they deal with. And yesterday it was domestic violence. And my mum was receiving domestic violence when she was married to my father Derek in 1978. So 78, 79, they were dealing with domestic violence. So Emily Bishop had taken in a woman she'd met at the hospital who had received domestic violence from her husband. And so even back in the day they were dealing with domestic violence issues, and that was the time that my father Derek was hitting my mother. But remember, Coronation Street was a soap opera. It was all made up bruises, all makeup and fake injuries. My mum received real bruises and real marks and bumps from my dad Derek. So some people cannot distinguish between a show and real life. So Coronation Street was a soap opera, and my mum was receiving domestic violence from my dad, Derek, and it was real life. Although it seemed like a soap opera, the way the police came out and dealt with my dad and never, ever, ever punished him or arrested him or did anything to stop him hitting my mother. And it also affected my life because not only did I receive beatings from my dad, I watched my mum and dad argue and fight, and the horrific violence I watched my father inflict on my mother, Jennifer. So the police, when I was a kid, did nothing to stop my father at all. They never even arrested him, because my dad used to say to the police, "It's her, she's mentally ill, it's all in her head." Now my mum had real bruises, she had real marks, and they still did nothing, even when she'd be covered in bruises and they would do nothing at all. And as a kid, you're too young to be a witness, you're too young to obviously be believed, right? But I was never protected from this violence either. So every episode that I've had in my life of domestic violence, I've come across the same thing that my mother went through. The police come out like Mickey Mouse. "What do you want us to do?" And I say, "Well, you're the police officer. You should know what to do. You're the police. I've called you. Now do your job." But they don't. They side with the perpetrator 9 times out of 10, right up until I would say, well, I've got free of it now. I'm totally free of it because I'm not involved with anybody at all. I have to live by myself because every male I get involved with hits me and abuses me. That's why I stood my ground and told that Charlie, who came up to me on the field, no. And no means no, right? So I was watching episodes of Coronation Street from ages ago, and they were dealing with domestic violence. They were dealing with affairs. You know, married men having affairs with single women the day before yesterday, right? Every day someone wants to wind me up and upset me. I told you that I got messages from Flirt Finder yesterday, which is a dating site, or a flirt site maybe. So the last message I got yesterday, and they try and upset you, you see. They try and upset you. So at 7:39 last night, I got a message. "Hi, I'm Kev, live in Kent. Tell me what you're looking for. Message me back, XXX, Kev." So I know that's the stalker, and I know they're trying to upset me because I know what XXX means. So Hot Nomad texts me at, this is the last message I get off Flirt Finder last night, 7:57. "Oh drat, I smoke. XXX again." And all that trouble I had last night coming up in the lift, the electricity meter box was open and someone could have been in there, and I walked straight into my flat and I locked the door. So this morning, Friday, October the 20th at 8:45, I have a message from 150, which is EE. You've now earned your third free data boost. This has been added to your current pack and is available to you straight away. This boost will be on all your packs going forward. We'll add another boost to your allowance after your next 2 packs. Now my mother's just called, and that's it, nothing else. And I know exactly what the perpetrator, the pervert and the stalker is doing.
Welcome to your EE voicemail. You have 1 new message and 6 saved messages. First new message. Received today at 8:36 a.m.
Good morning, Janessa, this Friday morning. Hoping you're all right, thinking of you, and thanking you for coming up to visit me yesterday. Okay, Janessa, I hope you have a good day, thinking of you, and I'll give you another ring sometime today. Okay, Janessa, have a good day. Bye.
Well guys, I will have a good day because the weather is wet, it's very drizzly and it's not very nice. And I'm not going anywhere today. No, I'm not, because I'm safeguarding myself. And I don't think going into Chatham is a safe place because my ex-partner lives in Chatham and he was a drunk, and he wasn't a happy drunk, he was a violent drunk, a nasty drunk, and he lives in Chatham, so I'm not going into Chatham today. No, I'm not. I'm safeguarding myself. I've got therapy next week, telephone therapy, because of what's all been done, and I need to work through it. And it upsets me when I talk about what ex-partners have done to myself, as it would any other woman that's gone through domestic violence and violent and abusive relationships. Talking about it is upsetting. To make you feel down and low for days afterwards, which it did last time I talked to victim support. Now she's due to talk to me next week. I'm still trying to get out of this flat because one of the guys that assaulted me lives right round the corner from me, okay? And Kent Home Choice have still not got back to me. They didn't get back to me yesterday, and there will be a stage 1 complaint going against Medway Council if they don't get back to me by the end of today. And I'm going to ring them next week and I'm going to tell them I want to make a complaint, because I've been trying to get out of this flat since I had an altercation with the guy upstairs, who has obviously taken a simple "please can you be quiet" to the extreme. He's taken it to the extreme, taken it personally, when all I wanted, at that point I was in severe agony with my atypical facial pain, and I just politely asked if you could just keep the noise down when I'm going to sleep. So it's been, some men cannot, we had it in Gloucestershire. We asked the guy, we said, we've got children and you're playing music loud and it's waking them up during the night. And this guy took it personally and he tried to attack my husband. He tried to attack him verbally. He said, I know, I've been in prison for ABH. And he tried to frighten my ex-husband, who, by the way, was a black belt in judo, and if he knew ABH, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But my husband got so fed up of the neighbour, making noise when he had to go to work the next morning, that he didn't want to live in that flat. It made him miserable and upset him. And he wasn't getting sleep so that he could do a good day's job, if you know what I mean. But that guy took it personally and tried threatening my husband and stalking me in the back garden. So some people cannot take, "Oh, please, can you keep the noise down?" They take, "Oh, you've had the audacity to ask them to do something and they don't like it, and then they take it to the next level. So I've had skulls in the lift. I've had a polystyrene skull in the lift. I've been shouted at out of the window, and I've been frightened in my own flat with the noise that has been absolutely terrible. And all because I just said politely, please could you just I have to go to sleep, and your kids are making noise between 12 and 6 in the morning, and I can't go to sleep. And if you look at pictures of me in 2020, 2021, I look awful. Absolutely awful. So, I will not be controlled, I will not be manipulated, and I'm not a violent, aggressive person. I've been quiet in my flat, just acting normally, having to put up with horrendous bullying and people just being cruel and nasty to me. They just want to cover up what they've done since I was a child. And when I was a child, screaming up and down the masonette, screaming for help, screaming when my dad was touching me, no one listened. And I do believe people were listening in and watching what my dad was doing to me, like an episode of Coronation Street. I absolutely do. And when I've been in women's refuges, and my mum was talking about it yesterday, and not actually watching people die on television, but I had several instances when I was in women's refuges when nasty things happened to me, and I would run out and people would be walking down like extras out of Coronation Street, ignoring that I was there. Right? You will not believe me until it's proven true. And that goes for all the doctors that I've had and the present ones, the doctors that have done nothing to help whatsoever. They've left me in consultation rooms with scissors, needles, when they know that I've been feeling very, very, very depressed. And I've got evidence to prove that I've been left in the doctor's surgery with needles and scissors, because I took photographic evidence and videos. I'm quite willing to take this to a court of law. Everywhere I go, I gather evidence, the way that the shop staff treat me like I'm a piece of shit. Everything. I let them treat me like shit because they get videotaped and I write it down what they've done and said to me. I'm not tolerating it anymore. I just want to be left in my own home. I'm completely normal. They're covering up child abuse because I was abused since I was a young girl. And why they're still covering it up, I don't know. It must involve somebody high up. That's all I can say. They're covering someone's ass and they don't fucking give a shit about me. They just care about themselves. Covering up what they've done. And I'm not the only one. There's thousands of targeted individuals that are targeted because they blow the whistle and stop the abuse. And that's what everybody should do. Stop the abuse, not join in with it. Because if you join in with it or turn a blind eye, you're part of it and you should be ashamed of yourself. And that's all I've got to say on the matter. I've done nothing wrong. They're trying to make out it's me when it's them. So they can carry on abusing. And anyone that lets them is as guilty as the abuser. See you later.